Hello there folks, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and of course I'm your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. Now this is one of a number of quick-fire Q&A sessions that I'm holding. Much shorter format than my usual videos. I'm just going to sprinkle them in to add a bit of diversity and interest, and I've asked for questions within that realm from some of the viewers, and somebody or many of you have actually written to me already, and you can write to me by just dropping your question in the comment section. But somebody using the nom de plume of BS has written to me and said, which watches would you take when going on vacation? Well, great question, and I can give you a very up-to-date answer because something happened today which will perhaps change my opinion. But I'll tell you what I normally take with me. I normally take a watch which is appropriate to the situation that I'm heading into. I'll give you an example. Now, a couple of months ago, I went for a long weekend in London with my family. All right. I knew on that trip I'd be going out for some nice meals. I would be going to some restaurants where there was a dress code. And as a consequence, the watch I packed for my wrist was my Rolex Explorer. Now, I'm a bit of a Rolex aficionado, that's true. I've got more Rolex than any other pieces, so I'm going to be choosing from that collection. But within the little collection of watches that I do have, I chose the Explorer because it's a watch which flies under the radar. Now, I could have worn one of my larger, chunkier Rolex sports watches. However, in a large metropolitan city like London, home to, 8-9 million people, when you're walking around, although it's a very low crime area, you don't want to be wearing something which is incredibly tempting to muggers and robbers. And of course, we know that people are always on the lookout for those expensive Rolex pieces. So I chose an Explorer, which is almost as capable as any other Rolex watch, yet because of its very simple lines and classic styling, nobody gives it a second glance, yet it looked perfectly acceptable with my jacket and tie when I went to a nice restaurant. So for me, that watch matched the situation on that occasion. In a couple of weeks' time, I'm heading overseas for my annual summer holiday, and this year I'm heading off to the islands of Greece. So I know I'm going to take a different watch on this occasion. I'm going to leave the Explorer at home because it doesn't meet my criteria. It's not the right watch for the situation. On this occasion, I will be packing my Rolex Submariner. My catch-all watch, actually. I tend to wear this watch more than any other. I'll be choosing the Submariner because I know this watch will be perfect for the situation that I'm heading into. Because I expect every single day of my holiday, I will be jumping into the pool, or I will be jumping into the sea, doing some swimming, water skiing, or whatever. And I want a watch which is absolutely capable to knock the ball out of the park in all of those situations. But at the same time, in the evenings, I dare say I'll be dining in some lovely local restaurants, and I want a watch which isn't going to look out of place in the evenings. And the Rolex Explorer for me is that sort of quintessential do-it-all-well watch, because thanks to our fictional friend James Bond, who chose to wear his Submariner with everything from his dinner jacket to his proper diving suit, the Submariner is generally acceptable in most social situations in the modern era. So that's what I'd be choosing. Either, a watch, if you're in a city, you're going to be dressed up, wear a dress watch. If you're on holiday in a proper sporty environment, you can wear a sports watch, whatever's right. However, as I said at the beginning, today there's been a new entrant into the travel watch world. And early this morning, or I think it was about midday, and I'm filming this on Friday, I'm not even sure the date, it's something like the 8th of July. Tudor released a new watch earlier today. They released the Tudor Ranger. Now the Tudor Ranger, it's a watch which has been in their catalogue for many, many years. It's been in abeyance for a little while, but they've brought out a bang-up-to-date Tudor Ranger, which I think you will agree looks to be almost the perfect travel watch, because it ticks many of the criteria that I've just discussed that I look for in my perfect travel watch. And the reason I say that is this watch is a bit of a do-it-all-well type watch. You will notice, of course, that it bears a striking resemblance to the Rolex Explorer. You might say that many field watches, of course, bear a striking resemblance to the Rolex Explorer, but the Tudor Ranger, of course, has a bit of DNA with that Explorer, because Hans Wilsdorf was the creator of both watch brands, Rolex and Tudor, and I believe he was behind the Ranger as well. So there's a familiar appearance going on there. But this new Tudor Ranger, I think, may be even more universally approachable for people who like a good travel watch, an expedition watch, or a field watch as they're called. The reason why I think this may be the perfect watch is because it comes in at the size which is beloved by so many, 39mm stainless steel piece. Now the watch is available in 3 different strap options. It's available on a stainless steel oyster style strap, which incidentally comes with the new Tudor T clasp. So that new Tudor T fastening on the clasp means it's adjustable on the go. So you don't have to use any tools. You can adjust that watch, much like the glide lock on my Rolex Submariner. That new T clasp means you get instant perfection in your watch fit, as well as the stainless steel bracelet, which is, I think, would have been my choice. It's also available on a NATO strap and a hybrid rubber fabric strap as well. All of them are rather attractive. They're priced differently. I would be going for the stainless steel bracelet, which I believe retails for, it is £2,420, I think. Let me just check my notes. Absolutely. So that watch, as I say, looks rather beautiful on the wrist, whichever strap option you choose. And I think it would be the excellent choice for most men or women, because 39mm these days, of course, is a size which is increasingly attractive to the ladies who wear the watches. I think you'll agree, looking at the watch, it is a simple, time-only black dial with indices which make it easy to read and visible in day or night, because those indices, and you'll notice that at the cardinal points of 12, 3, 6 and 9, you have numerical indices markers, and then just battens at the other hours. I think it looks rather utilitarian and rather simple, which is exactly what you want when you're traveling. Something easy to see. There's no date, there's no fuss or bother on this dial. It is time only. But you'll notice something quite interesting. First of all, the indices, the hour markers, have an interesting sort of greeny, patinaed appearance to them. That's obviously the luminescence which causes those hands to glow at night. Sorry, the hands and the indices. But it gives it an attractive look, I think. A bit of an aged look, which for me certainly gives the watch a bit of interest to look at. You'll also notice at the second hand, at the very tip of the second hand, there is a hint of red. And that tiniest bit of red, that little bit of contrast, the only thing on there which really has any contrasting colour on the dial, draws the eye and makes it very attractive. Makes it very visible too, which is nice and easy to see. Now, ticking within the heart of that watch is a Tudor in-house movement. It's the MT5402. It's a COSC certified movement, meaning its accuracy level is absolutely guaranteed. And and it's again in-house. Tudor are certainly migrating to pretty much everything now in their range being built by themselves, much like their bigger brother Rolex. Everything in-house. Tudor's going down that route too. What else can I tell you about it? It's got a domed sapphire crystal, which adds to that sort of vintage retro look to it, opposed to, for instance, the Rolex Explorer, which has a box crystal. It's got a 70-hour power reserve, which, let's face it, has become the industry standard for wristwatches these days. It's got 100 meters of water resistance with a screw-down crown. Again, makes you quite comfortable to take this watch into any aquatic situation. Unless you're a deep-sea diver, this watch has got you covered for the pool, for the sea, or any other situation, canoeing, kayaking, water skiing. With that stainless steel bracelet on it, this watch will live in the water for its entire life, and it won't offer you any issues at all. My personal view is that this offers a very classy, easy to read watch, nice clean dial. It looks great in the press images which have been provided by Tudor, and you know, we know it looks rather rugged. We know Tudor brand will mean it is rather rugged. Of course, it comes with a 5-year guarantee, so if anything was to go wrong, you know, you've got that satisfaction of having the cover. To my money, when I look at this watch, what I see is a perfect travel companion. Whether you're going for somewhere quite smart, where, you know, that Rolex Explorer might be the option you think of, or whether you're going somewhere quite sporty, where I would consider wearing my Submariner, this watch, because of its slightly larger size, is there. You know, it's got you sorted for those situations. I think Tudor have really scored a goal with this piece. This may be the most wearable and universally attractive watch in their current collection. Now, I know their Black Bay 58 range, similar size, very attractive, very profitable for them, but I really think that this watch, being universally attractive, wearable by men, by women, in all sorts of situations, this is really going to be a watch which drives people in their masses through the door at Tudor, which is something which I would love to see, because I'm a big fan of Tudor. I own a Tudor in my own collection. I think they make great watches, and this one is making me regret the fact that I own a Rolex Explorer, because if that Explorer wasn't already in my collection, I would be very interested in the Tudor Ranger, because I think, you know, it really will be a home run. So there we go, BS. I hope I've answered your question. Quite simply, the right watch for the right situation. That's the one I take with me on vacation. And if you're a sensible person in this modern era, you might be looking down that Tudor Ranger direction, because that might be the watch of the future. Thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, click the red button. If you want to send me a question, do so. Leave it in the comment section below. If you want to support me, you can buy me a coffee. You will find the link to the Buy Me a Coffee page in the show notes below. Until the next time, take care of yourselves. I'm going to see you again very soon in another quickfire Q&A. Might be a bit quicker than this one. It's turned out a bit longer than I thought. But until the next time, take care.